Welcome back. Today, we're going to be servicing the rear differential in this 1979 Jeep J10. And I'd like to make this clear considering I think I mentioned this in the video. This truck was bought with, it was a great opportunity. Low cost, obviously it's in rough shape. Not many J20s in the area I'm in. Very hard to find Jeep trucks anyway. This is meant to be a very long-term work truck project. It's never going to be a really nice truck again. I mean, the cab's got front clips two are gone, the hood's got holes in it. I'm gonna have to stick some kind of floor pans in it. But this will make a nice work truck. So sometimes you gotta hop on opportunities whenever they show themselves. And that's kind of what I did with the purchase of this truck. However, that being said, there's something about this that has to be done right now, and it can't just wait. Like I said, initially, I was just doing what I needed to do to get it to where it run and drive so I can move around. As you guys can see, I don't have a whole heck of a lot of space here. So if I have a project, it has to be able to move itself around because we got to play freaking vehicle Tetris. But the reason we're going to go ahead and service this rear end is because there's something here that concerns me. I don't know how full of water it is. So, this is what I'm worried about. Right here. This differential cover has been pried away from the housing. I know there's got to be water getting in by that. So I got some cheap gear oil today, and we're just going to go ahead and give this a change. And I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop this brake line off here so we can get it out of the way. We're going to beat that back flat with a hammer. And then we'll go ahead and get all that nasty old gear oil out of there. I'm glad we're doing this. I ain't got much gear oil in it. I had to reach down in there. Definitely smells old. Not terrible, but old. Plug's in good shape. Normally them are in terrible shape. I'd say she got a little water in her while she's been sitting. What you think, huh? Yep. And if you looky there, she got a pretty good kink in her. Something hit there. That's been recent. That might have been when they was loading that with the forklift up there, actually. We'll try to peck that out if we can. We might just leave it alone if it's not. I don't know. It's causing a pretty good dent here. But they use clear silicone on it. So that's a first. And there's a lot of water in this gear oil. And there's a lot of goop. Like, ooh. That's got some metal in it. It's I don't know if that's metal or not. Let's go get a magnet. I think that's metal. Yeah, that ain't pretty. Yeah, it's magnetic. That's going to take some cleaning on. Okay, I scraped a lot of that rusty goop that was in the bottom out. I think a lot of that come off the differential cover. I have this can of degreaser here. We're going to try to clean as much of that stuff out of there as we can. But there's a lot of rust and stuff on the carrier and the ring gear here and everything. I figure, man, we'll be doing a set or two of axle seals on this thing. You can't keep. So here's what we ended up with. I cleaned on this surface here as good as I can. Got all the residue off of it as good as I can. Cleaned out the inside of the case. I mean, it had a lot of rust in it. It wasn't, I don't think it's like bearing chunks. The gears appear to be in really good shape. I think it was where moisture was getting in that top, which is the whole reason why we're doing this anyway. So, if I can knock the bolts everywhere, that'd be nice. Here's what the diff cover looked like, or looks like. I beat out this big dent in the top as good as I can. It should be good enough now that I'm not too worried about the hitting it. I also beat out the dent down here in the bottom. And on top of that, I cleaned up the outside. We're going to shoot all this with some primer when we get done. So, the next thing I want to show you, that way I don't have to cut and skip this. The next thing I want to show you is the tag for the ratio. There, I think you can see it kind of there. So top numbers are the serial numbers. Bottom, it has the ratio as 354, and it's got 4613, which I'm pretty sure if you divide those together, that's what gives you the 354. So looking like we got 354 gears. This is a quadra-track full-time four-wheel drive truck, and it has no low-range unit on it. So it would have been nice for this one to have 409s in it, considering it doesn't have the low range, but being an automatic, I don't know, 354s probably aren't bad. So now what I'm going to proceed to do is take some gear type gasket maker. We're going to rub on the surfaces here, rub on the diff cover, bolt that puppy on there, and then we're going to shoot it with some primer so it doesn't rust. And then I'll add in the filling it up after I let it set up for a little while. And we'll go ahead and stick the plug in it there, and I think I'm going to shoot it with primer. By the time the primer dries, I'll be able to dump some gear oil in it, and we'll have this video summed up for the most part. So we'll see y'all here in a minute. All right, for those of you were curious, that's 3 quarts, 80-90 weight differential wool. Just running the cheap stuff in it for now. Um, Really, I just run the cheap stuff in about everything around here, mostly because it all gets put in the water and it gets changed at least once a year in most of my Jeeps. So, uh, anyway, that's there you go. We serviced it. We cleaned it up the best we can. There's still a little bit of rust in the interior where it was getting water in the top, but I think it'll do just fine. We'll get some miles on it, get a few miles on it, and we'll change it. Might not pull everything off. Might just suck it out with my little electric pump. But after we start driving it, but for now, at least we solved the issue of water getting down in the top of it. So we've done a good bit of preventative maintenance there that'll take care of it while it's kind of sitting in limbo, being bounced around the driveway. So appreciate y'all watching. Y'all take her easy, and y'all have a good one.